Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, we're on at Ablesys here. Welcome to the webinar. We're glad to go over the charts for you and take a look at the signals and the way we use AbleTrend. This is the beginner webinar, so we'll keep it simple. We do this at the same time in the advanced webinar for everybody who does have the software. We'll gladly take it just a little further, but it's basically the same, but there's a couple extra things that I like to show and that are helpful. But let's jump in right away. The way we use it is we simply go with a blue bar, blue dot, and a blue X, which would be right here. That's exactly the first time they come together because it's the first blue X. So the blue X is a weekly chart. This is Travelers, it's stock. This is a daily, weekly chart. AbleTrend's accuracy is exactly the same, whether you trade futures or stocks or Forex or you day trade or swing trade, position trade, doesn't matter. It's exactly the same. It just depends on whatever you like to do. So this is a perfect setup right here because it's blue bar, blue dot, blue X. The X is the weekly support that blocks or stops the price from going lower. The dot is the daily support that blocks or stops the price from going lower. And they're both blue. So blue means up in AbleTrend. Green means sideways. Red means downtrend. So once we got rid of the red X's, meaning there's no more resistance above the price, meaning there's nothing there to block it from going higher, because the red dots and red X's is the opposite of the blue dots and blue X's. Red and blue are opposite. The red dots and red X's stop or block the prices from going higher. That's resistance. The blue dots and X's block or stop it from going lower. That's support. So the first time, because we have two time frames combined into one chart here now, that's what makes AbleTrend work so well, why everybody likes it, and why you get so many less losing trades than every other indicator, because we've got two time frames and two different AbleTrend algorithms all combined into one chart. And we don't take a trade until they all agree. So you've got a lot of things have to happen, meaning there's a lot of odds in our favor when we do have a trade. A valid entry is a blue bar, blue dot, blue X, like I mentioned. Stop loss just goes a couple pennies under the blue dot because there's a nice wall of protection there to stop it from going lower. Very often, like right here, the price hits the blue dot, bounces off it, and goes up. You'll see it a couple times here and up in here and again over there. That's the beauty of the indicator, is it helps to block it from going lower. So we're going to get in over here at about 125, and as long as we've got these blue dots below, we stay in the trade. It means we're safe. We've got a wall of protection under the price. So moving right along nicely, 1 bar per day. This is a daily, weekly. It's more for position trading stocks, but people who cannot be in front of the computer or don't have any interest in that. But we are stopped out over here because the prices go under the blue dot and it hits the blue dot. We put the stop loss after we're in the trade at the second lower small blue dot below the price. So let's, for example, we're in over here. You've got these blue dots. Horizontally, they're at the same price. There's where the stop loss would be. As the dots go higher, we just keep moving the stop loss higher. But it goes under the blue dot here. Ooh, we don't like that because it's breaking through our protection. And it's the same rules whether we're trading day trading E-minis or we're trading Forex or we're doing shorter time. It's the exact same rules. You have to know the rules so that you know when to buy and sell and where to put your stop losses. And that's what I'm going through right now. I'm using this stock chart. However, it's exactly the same rules no matter what chart you're looking at. And then we just get right back in again right here because after we're stopped at, we'd be right back in again. Blue bar, blue dot, blue X. The X doesn't have to be right below it. Remember, it comes in once a week. And then, we're just killing them on this one. This was a real home run if there ever was one. So we got in at like 125. We got stopped out at 130, back in at 132, and then we're out at 148. Well, we've got thousands of option traders who use AbleTrend. That's a home run right there from 132 to 148. Very, very nice. Now you say, what's going on lately with it? What's your position recently? Well, we got stopped out over here because, again, the second blue dot below the price, not the first one under the price, the next step down, the second step down. So we'd be out here at 150. Real nice trade there. And then we went short right here. There's the first time you had red bar, red dot, red X. Not here. Don't have the red X yet. A couple days later, we do red bar, red dot, red X. We'd either buy puts or trade shares, whatever you like. That's up to you. We would have shorted here at around 148, and you're at 140, almost 146. So, looking good so far. We'll see what happens as long as everything is red. And the key are the dots. Even when we're looking at a day trading chart, the key is the dots. Red dots above, downtrend, stay short, you're safe. Blue dots below, uptrend, stay long, you're safe. Let's jump on over to our favorite intraday chart is a mini NASDAQ. Now I combine three charts into one. I use a 1, 2, 3 chart. I use a 3, 9, and then a tick chart, which I love the tick chart because the tick chart is much faster than the other charts. So it gets you, not so much that we're going to use in the buy or the sell signals on the tick chart. We use it for confirmation of the 1, 2, 3 chart. So if the 1 minute says to get in and the tick agrees, we're in. I'm keeping this simple now. Got a lot of new people in the webinar here. I'm just going to use the 1, 2, 3 chart for now. Like I said, in the advanced webinar, I'll get into it a little more, and even more important than the webinars is the one-on-one trading session that I will gladly do with you. It's included in the price of the trial, and you'll learn more in 15 minutes, me and you together, than you can learn for hours on your own. I can guarantee you that. And I just want you to get your money's worth out of the trial. So I'll gladly do that for you once you get a 1-month trial. Now, at the beginning of the day, today was quite choppy. Fortunately, we had a lot of no trade zones. For example, that's a no trade zone. When you have blue and red together, no trade. We don't buy. There's red X's above. There's a big wall in front of you. It's exactly like driving down a street with a roadblock, an invisible roadblock ahead of you. Well, obviously, I'm not going to drive down that street. Short trade here, that was a winner because we were finally stopped out here. Now, we also have a 2 green bar exit, which would be right here. When you're in profit, and you can use anything you like, I use 8 to 10 points on the NASDAQ. You want to use maybe like 2 points on the ES, 2 points on the Russell. Russell's another very good chart to trade, by the way. Another very smooth, trending E-mini. Don't discard the Russell. Personally, my second favorite behind the NQ is the Russell. But once you have 2 green bars in a row, that's kind of like a little bit of a warning right here. It's getting a little weak, the trend, and sometimes it pulls back. So we're stopped out right there because we put the stop loss 1 point above the higher of the 2 green bars. 1 point above the higher of the 2 green bars after you're in profit. You say, what about over here? You had green bar. We weren't in profit yet. You shorted it right there. No profit. We're not going to use the 2 green bar strategy. We're going to use the red dots, second higher row of small red dots. So, but we did have a nice little trade right there because we would have been out there. That's a 20-point profit. However, we lost about 10 points on that trade right there. And that's a legitimate trade. No, nothing wrong with that. Blue bar, blue dot, blue X, and I don't gloss over the losing trades. I'm not here to fool anybody because I wouldn't want that done to me. A long trade at the open right here, a beautiful profit. Now we always suggest take half off after you get $100 in profit. Whether that's NQ, that would be 5 points for NQ. That's just a rule that we like to use. What we suggest, you could use anything you like. What we suggest, if you trade multiple contracts, as most people do, we take half, or even if you're trading micro lots, perfectly fine. We take half off after 5 points on NQ, 2 points on ES or RTY. You know why? It gives you a little bit of profit. You're not going to lose on the trade, and you make better decisions going forward, knowing you've got some money in the bank, knowing that you made a little bit of money on the trade. Because trading is just as much emotional, which is why a lot of people just not very successful at day trading is the emotional part. They don't really follow the signals that closely. They're not disciplined enough, and that's okay. It's not for everybody. Day trading is not for everybody. But if you are disciplined, you will win using AbleTrend. There is that I can guarantee. I'm also going to guarantee they'll be losing trades and losing days. I'm guaranteeing that. So this is all about real life trading. We're not here to fool anyone, and we're very serious about our trading. So rolling right along, you have to, for sweet spots, you have to have tick agreement. I'll go over that more in either the one-on-one trading session or the Thursday webinar. But we just want to have the tick chart agree on the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is a pullback back up to the red dot, and the bar goes from green back to red again, triple confirmation. It means downtrend coming, and that's exactly what it did. It dropped 30 points right after that. There's your 2 green bars in a row, and a stop out right there. So that was a nice little sweet spot at that time too. No trade zone in here. That's a trade right there. Triple confirmation. That's a valid buy signal. We lost 10 points on that trade. It was a little less than that, but I always exaggerate the losses, not the gains, I like everybody else tries to do. No trade zone here. We lost 5 points on that trade because we put the stop loss 1 point below the bottom of the entry bar. Blue bar, blue dot, blue X, 1 point below the bottom of the entry bar. Rolling right along, we had a fantastic trade right there. That was a real good one right there. That was 25 points profit. Blue bar, blue dot, blue X, and then the 2 green bar exit gets us out right in there. There's your 2 greens in a row. Stop loss goes 1 point under the 2 green bars from there to there. That was 30 points. I'll call it 25. That's a $500 winner Able Trend gave me, you, and everybody who took the signal. Everybody who uses Able Trend, the signal was right there. Very clear cut. That was a good one right there. No trade here, and this was a fantastic trade. Small blue bars. We had very little bit of risk. 5 points risk on this trade. So it was a super low risk trade. Triple confirmation. Wow, that's a textbook case right there. If you see that on your chart, you want to jump on that one, regardless of the outcome. And that was very nice. 2 green bar exits got us out there, and that worked out nice. That was 25 points. We were in at 25, 75, 10, out at 35. That was a clean, easy, nothing's easy, but it was a smooth, clear-cut buy signal and a smooth, clear-cut 25 points. That's another $500 trade right there. Obviously, a very nice day today. Again, using Able Trend. Very, very good. No trade zone in here, and we lost 6 points on this trade right here to close out the day. Red bar, red dot, red X, stop loss 1 point high. It's always the same rules. I mean, I've been literally saying this twice a week for many years, and it's exactly the same. The webinars are always the same because I just use different charts, but the rules never change. We're always making it better and updating things, but red bar, red dot, red X, we go short. Stop loss goes 1 point above the top of the red bar. We stopped out right there, and we gave back 6 points there. But obviously, a very nice winning day. Very, very good. It's been a good week. Actually, it's been a great year, but I'll get into that. I can't go over the whole year's worth of chart. However, Rick says, is the opening trade too far gone to take? No, Rick, the opening trade is usually the best trade of the day. Yeah, it was a lot of risk on that trade. As it turns out, didn't make much on that trade. So, if you skipped it, that was perfectly fine. But you don't want to miss the opening trade of the day. That's usually a real good one. There's a lot of risk on the trade. So if that was a little too much risk for you, totally understand. Then just skip it right here, and then there's your next trade right here, which again is just as much risk on that one. It was about a 15-point price bar. If you want to just knock it down to 10 points, I mean, you can do that, but it is what it is. I mean, if there's more risk in the trade, it just means there's more volatility. So more risk, sometimes means more gain. But keep it simple. And Rick, by the way, if you wanted to do a one-on-one, yes, I'm available parts of tomorrow and Thursday and Friday too. So you can get back to me on that. Yes, sir. Mike K, in my opinion, what has been the best E-minis to trade? Oh, yeah. Well, like I mentioned before, NQ number 1, RTY, which is the Russell number 2, ES number 3. I find them to be the smoothest, the lowest risk, and the highest profit potential. Oh, you're welcome, Rick. Any other questions? It's pretty clear cut. That's the beauty of it. There's no thinking. It's the rules are the rules, and we just act on the rules. The whole key is you got to focus, have to be disciplined, or nobody can obviously be successful at day trading. You have to be very disciplined, and you have to be emotionless. That's the hardest part. Believe me, I know. That's the hardest part to be successful. But the software works fantastic. It's not the lucky week or even a lucky year. It's got a 20-year track record. You just have to follow the signals and make the trades. That part we can't do for you. That's in your hands. But I think you're going to really like what you see here. This past week, in fact, the past 2 weeks, very big winning weeks using Abletrend. In fact, so big, many clients have told me just trading one contract the past 2 weeks, taking all the signals, they already paid for a 1-year license. Those are nice emails to get. And again, what's most important is to do the one-on-one trading session, because I'll show you more in 15, 20 minutes of you and I talking than you can learn for hours and days and weeks on your own. Don, how do you choose which to trade? I just put both charts up personally, and I have the Russell in one workspace and the NQ in another one, and whichever one comes up with the trade when you're in front of the computer, that's the one you take, because you don't know which one going forward is going to be the best. So at the moment you're in front of your computer, well, whichever one comes on with a new buy or a sell signal, triple confirmation, valid able trend, low risk trade, that'd be the one that I would take. Paul, does success change with each instrument from month to month? No. Good question. Or does NQ work for 5 months and then? No. We stick with, again, you can trade whatever you like. We like NQ and RTY, but NQ is our favorite because it's got the most volatility, meaning the most profit potential, and we've got stop losses in place. We never, ever lose a lot on a trade. You can trade whatever you like. We have just many clients around the world trade Forex and stocks in their countries, day trade, long-term trade. As I mentioned from the beginning, it really doesn't matter. Mike, the stop loss rule is the same it's been that I talked to, that I've said hundreds of times over the past, over all these webinars. It's the exact same rule that nothing has ever changed on that, Mike. And I just went over it right now 3 or 4 times on these first 2 charts. 1 point below the bottom of the blue bar when you have triple confirmation, 1 point above the high, or just slightly higher above the red bar for triple confirmation, and then previous lower small blue dot on the way up, previous higher red dot on the way down. Very simple rules. PJ, thanks for the webinar. Question, I missed a part about why the X. The big X is, in this case, on this chart, the big X is the 3-minute, the smaller X is the 2-minute, and the dot is the 1 minute. We just want them to come together before we make a trade. We never, ever get into any trade when you have both red and blue vertically on the chart at the same time. That's 2 different time frames saying, that's what we call a no trade zone. And the no trade zones are fantastic. They keep us out of trouble. I'm just going to go with these 2 charts at the moment here, Hugh. Very similar also, but I have to say the Russell chart's very similar to this. Does it make any difference to trade the new micro lots in the NQ? No, in fact, I think it's fine to trade those. Mike K, yeah, it's fine to trade those because then you can trade multiple contracts. And it's always easier to trade multiple contracts because we always take half off when you're in profit, when you have a little bit of profit. So it works out great, takes the stress off the trade, guarantees you're going to make some money on the trade. Love it. Mike Z took the NQ long at 1037 when I had tick agreement, got 5 points, tick chart side by side instead of on a separate tab was a game changer for me. You're the best. Thank you, Mike. I told Mike yesterday to set it up. He's a seasoned user that we have, and I just personally recommended to set it up all together. I use a 3-9, a 1-2-3, and a tick on top. Just makes it so much easier to see. So I'm glad you agree, Mike, and had a good day trading. Paul, can you change the time frames? Absolutely, you can do anything you like. Anything, you click the number on your chart and it changes instantly. So it's real easy to do. Cheryl, can you copy the tick chart to another workspace? No, you have to make a completely new one. Tick is kind of funny, Cheryl. It's kind of a funny chart. It's a little bit of a weird chart. However, I don't believe you can copy it and paste it to another workspace. You just simply, start fresh and make a new one up. Can you line up times, Steve M? Yes, you can. Nikhil, new user here, can you explain what the tick chart is? I can do that in a one-on-one trading session with you, but a tick chart, and I do that in the advanced webinar, but a tick chart is a much faster chart. So I want to make sure that the really fast chart is on a buy signal before I get the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute chart to agree. That's all it is. It's just extra confirmation. That's a good way to look at it. It's just extra confirmation. I just want to make sure that a really quick chart is already on a buy signal before the 1 minute and 2 minute and 3 minute agree. I hope that helped. Mike, does tick work with TradeStation? Yes. That was Mike H. Mike K. When we got Mike Z, we've got a lot of mics in here. Mike K. Why don't the times line up vertically? Not sure what you mean by that, but if you mean the X's, the big X, as I said before, comes in every 3 minutes. The smaller X comes in every 2 minutes, and the dot comes in every 1 minute. So they're not going to line up vertically. However, if you have one of the bigger X's before it, that's okay. It's still good going forward. Does it work with eSignal? It works with eSignal data feed, not eSignal platform. You can't get the guidance chart on the eSignal platform. It's just not advanced enough to work that way. But if you have eSignal already, just use you're already paying for the data, and eSignal data is the best data feed. So we can get the eSignal data feed into AbleTrend, our platform right here. That's what works excellent. Farouk, I just did the webinar targeted stocks right here. I just did that the first 10 minutes of the webinar right here. I targeted this stock here, which was a very big winner, and we had a new sell signal on it a couple days ago, and that's winning also. We got in at 125, we got out at 150. It was a very big winning stock trade, TVR, which is travelers. But it's the same rules. It doesn't matter if we're looking at a mini NASDAQ chart or we're looking at a stock chart. It's the exact same rules. Blue bar, blue dot, blue X to buy, red bar, red dot, red X to sell, and you put your stop losses at the previous lower small blue dot below the price. Exact same rules. So it doesn't change no matter what chart you're looking at. Mike C says you can copy and paste the tick chart into a new workspace, and on the S icon, which is the symbol icon on the top right there, you can change the symbols and click format by changing both symbols. Yeah, that should work. Thanks, Mike. Farouk, Hiron, one. Okay, I answered that. Raymond, 401 and IRA accounts don't allow shorting the market. However, we can buy put options. Yes, sir. You can also buy inverse ETFs. You can buy the inverse ETF. For example, you have like a QQ. You have the Qs and you have the S&P 500, and then you have the revert, meaning you're buying it, but you win if it goes down. It's the exact same thing as shorting. It's called an inverse ETF. Les, I just reviewed the NQ, and again, it's the same rules, same colors and dots, same chart, very similar chart, and I'm already 10 minutes over my allotted time. But everything is exactly the same. It works just as well for ES. You're welcome, James. So everything is exactly the same and the same accuracy, whether you trade ES, NQ, RTY, stocks, futures, Forex, day trading, swing trading, or position trading. It's exactly the same accuracy and exactly the same rules. Thanks for being here, everyone. I hope I was helpful. Have a good night.